Welcome to The Explainer. Today we're going to do a reality check on the whole EV revolution. See if all the hype is actually matching what's happening on the road.
For years, the message was just crystal clear, right? EVs are the future, period. It felt like this unstoppable train just chugging along to an all-electric world. But if you've been reading the headlines lately, you know the story's getting a whole lot more complicated and honestly, a lot more interesting.
All right, so let's get right into it. The first big reality check, there's a global slowdown in EV sales growth. It's this cooling off period that analysts have actually started calling an EV winter. And that name, EV winter, it really just nails the feeling, doesn't it? After years of absolutely red-hot growth and what felt like bottomless demand, suddenly the market's hitting a big old patch of ice. That super fast, easy adoption phase, it feels like that's over, and now we're in a much tougher spot for automakers. And look, the numbers really tell the story here. Global EV sales, they grew by a solid 23% in 2025. Pretty good, right? But the forecast for 2026, it drops all the way down to just 12%. That is a huge cooldown. The growth rate is basically getting sliced in half in 1 year.
So, why is this happening? What's going on? Well, it's not just one thing. It's more like a perfect storm of things happening all at once. You've got subsidies drying up in China. Over in Europe, those promises to phase out gas cars are starting to sound a little shaky. And here in the US, well, tax credits are running out and fuel standards have been relaxed. And then you throw in this brutal rat race competition, crazy price wars that are just eating away at everybody's profits.
But this EV winter has had a really interesting side effect. It's created an opening for, an unexpected hero in this whole story. And that hero? It's the hybrid.
Think about it. For most people, the average driver, the big worries about going all electric are still the same. How far can I go and how long does it take to charge? Well, hybrids come along and just solve those problems. You get that awesome fuel efficiency for running errands around town, but you never ever have to stress about finding a charging station on a road trip. It's just the practical choice for a lot of folks.
And wow, just look at how the market is responding. While the growth for pure EVs is slowing down, hybrid sales have absolutely exploded. We're talking a surge of over 80% year over year. That is a huge number. It just goes to show you that for a ton of buyers right now, the flexibility of a hybrid is the winning ticket.
Okay, so that's the hybrid story. Now let's pivot to the next huge thing that's reshaping the whole industry, and that is the incredibly fast and very strategic push by Chinese car companies into Europe.
And again, just check out these numbers. In 2025, Chinese brands had about 5.8% of the market in Europe. But fast forward to 2035, that number is projected to jump to 15.5%. Let that sink in. They're on pace to almost triple their market share in just 10 years. That's incredible.
But here's the really smart part of their strategy. This is not just an EV invasion, not at all. By 2035, they're expected to have over 9.5 million pure EVs on European roads. But look at this. They'll also have over 4.5 million plug-in hybrids, 2 million regular hybrids, and get this, 11 million good old-fashioned gasoline cars. They aren't betting on just one horse. They're playing the entire field.
So you've got all this change, all this uncertainty. So how on earth are the companies that actually make the parts for these cars supposed to deal with it all? Well, let's look at a really cool case study to see how it's done. Meet BorgWarner. Now, these guys are a huge old-school auto parts company. For decades, they were the kings of making stuff for gas engines. But now, they're right in the middle of this massive pivot, not just to survive, but to actually come out on top in this totally new world.
And their game plan is brilliant. They call it charging forward, and it's really a masterclass in how to adapt. First, they're going all in on growing their EV and hybrid parts business. At the same time, they're smartly selling off their old combustion engine divisions. They're also jumping all over what they're calling the hybrid spring. And get this, they're even starting to move into markets outside of cars altogether.
Now here's where it gets really clever, because they're still making top-of-the-line parts for gas engines, like turbochargers, while they're building all this new electric stuff. They are in the perfect spot to cash in on the rise of hybrids. Why? Because a hybrid needs both. It's a total win-win. It almost doesn't matter which way the market swings. They're set to benefit.
So okay, we've got this EV winter, we've got the hybrid comeback, but don't think for a second that the all-electric dream is dead. Not even close. In fact, you could say it's just waiting for the next massive breakthrough in technology.
And that breakthrough, it's called the solid-state battery. And just look at why this is such a mind-blowing deal. Compared to the lithium-ion batteries in every EV today, solid-state could give us double the energy density, charging that's 3 times faster, and it's way safer because it uses a non-flammable solid. Oh, and it could last twice as long. It's literally better in every single way.
So what does that actually mean for you, the driver? It means a car that could go 600, maybe even 1,000 miles on a single charge. It means pulling into a station and being fully charged in about 10 minutes, just like you're filling up with gas. And it means cars that are safer, lighter, and last way, way longer. I mean, this technology could pretty much wipe out every single complaint people have about EVs today.
So all of this leaves us with a really big question, doesn't it? Is this EV winter just a temporary little blip, a pause before this incredible new technology arrives? Or is it a more permanent shift to a future where hybrids, EVs, and maybe even gas cars all coexist for a long time? The one thing that's totally clear is that the road ahead isn't the straight shot we all thought it was. It's a complicated, twisting map with a whole lot of different paths. And the race to see which one wins, well, that is far from over.